Today, I'm going to be hardcore Nuzlocking Pokemon HeartGold with only Johto Pokémon. The Johto region is chock full of Kanto and Johto Pokémon alike, but the Kanto Pokémon seem to always overshadow some of the more quirky and interesting Johtomons, leaving them behind in many runs of this game. So in order to focus on Pokemon that I usually don't ever get a chance to use in one of my favorite games, if our first encounter on any route came from the Kanto region, we'll be re-rolling for something else. Interestingly enough, there are some routes that don't even have a single Johtomon, so we'll be getting less encounters than a usual run in this game, making it just a smidge more difficult for yours truly. Do you think I have what it takes to get to the end with Pokemon like Delibird and Slugma? Stick around to find out. And before we get started, if you're in the 95% of people that aren't subscribed and you like what you see, consider hitting that button. And with that, let the Nuzlocke begin. We start off just like any other Pokemon game, except for Gen 3, in our rooms. We admire the wonderful DS graphics and bump into our faux rival in the game, Lyra, who tells us to go into Professor Elm's lab, and we grab ourselves a starter Pokemon in Cyndaquil, who I named Bernie. By the way, I have chat in my live streams pick nicknames for my Pokemon, so if you want to name any of my Pokemon in future runs, go check them out. Anyways, I'm more of a Totodile enjoyer myself, but I thought I'd switch it up this time and go with something new. Me and my Cyndaquil go ahead and pick up the Pokemon egg that Elm wanted us to get for him, and battle this random red-haired guy on the way back. By the time we get back, we are questioned by the police who want to figure out the name of the red-haired kid because he stole a Pokemon from Elm. So I name him after one of my favorite YouTubers, Goyon. And from there, we get our Pokeballs from Lyra and our run officially begins. Since Rattata and Pidgey are both Cantonians, our only possible encounters for Route 29 are Sentret and Hoot Hoot. Because a lot of possible encounters in this game are taken out, encounter manipulation becomes a lot more important here. For instance, I'm able to make it nighttime, which only has Rattata and Hoot Hoot available, making Hoot Hoot a guaranteed Pokemon here. So we pick up Kugi the Hoot Hoot and continue on. We skip Route 46 for now, but we'll come back later to it once we get the move Headbutt. With Kugi in hand, the only possible encounter we can get on Route 30 is Spinarak, which I have somehow never used before, even with its most recent revival in the Teal Mask DLC. We can catch Zack the Spinarak, and taking a look at our moveset, I hope it gets better, because it is not looking great right now. Once reaching Route 31, I realized I somewhat made a trade-off with my encounters. You see, by guaranteeing a Spinarak with my Hoot Hoot, I've put my routes with available encounters down, since I don't have anything new on Route 31. If I took a Sentret on Route 29, I would have been able to grab both a Hoot Hoot and a Spinarak on 30 and 31. So I make sure to look at upcoming routes more often to try to prevent this from happening in the future. In the Dark Cave though, after 5 minutes of sifting through Geodudes and Zubats, we find ourselves a Johtomon that's only been getting some love recently with its funny little evolution, Izzy the Dunsparce. With that, we enter Violet City, which has some banger music. I always loved this town as a kid. Like, how many other towns in Pokemon have a whole tower dedicated to a funny little Pokemon like Bellsprout? Anyways, we grab ourselves a mysterious egg from this guy named Primo in the Pokemon Center and head to Route 32 for the next encounter. Here, we have 3 options, Hoppip, Mareep, and Wooper. I know I can grab Hoppip in a later route, so I opt for Mareep or Wooper, which just so happens to be the only 2 Johtomons that appear at night. We end up rolling the rarer of the 2 and spoon the Mareep and put him on the team, and make our way up Sprout Tower. Once at the top, I started getting lazy and didn't heal between fights and got myself into a little pickle. I should have healed everyone else. No! With our starter barely even getting a chance to shine, we must keep moving to avenge our fallen brethren, which we are immediately able to do by destroying the Elder with ease. Next up was the first gym. Bernie the Cyndaquil wasn't going to be helpful for this gym, but we are down a Mon regardless. So let's see how this goes. I send out Izzy, who throws out a loud yawn, then switch into a spoon to one-shot it with Thundershock. Pidgeotto comes out, so I switch back into Izzy, who's somehow able to tank 2 crit tackles in a row to get off the yawn once again. I switch to Spoon again to hit it with Thundershock, but it goes for Roost, which removes its flying type for the turn, making the following Thundershock neutral damage. So I go for the Growl since Spoon is starting to get low on health, and then switch into Kugi. I go for Hypnosis, which misses first, what's new there, but Kugi clutches up to hit the second one no problem. With not many options remaining, I send Spoon back in, hoping that the big bird doesn't wake up. I hit a Thundershock for big damage, but it doesn't kill. Next turn, Pidgeotto wakes up and goes for the hard tackle, so I start to say my prayers for Spoon. but he holds on 1 HP, saving the fight and hitting the Thunder Shock for the win. I can't believe it. That growl had to have mattered. I mean, look at our team after this fight. Everyone did their part except for Zach, but I don't know how Zach could have helped there in the first place given his moves. After leaving the gym, we're able to get the egg from Professor Elm and hatch it, giving us Whisk the Togepi, who I think is going to prove to be super useful for us in the future. We level and evolve Whisk up to the rest of the team. Then we start smashing some rocks for some shards that we can trade to this guy for some pretty useful berries. And we continue on with our journey south to Union Cave. Unfortunately though, there isn't a single encounter we can grab in here since it's all Kanto mons. So we speed through it, allowing our Primo egg to hatch, which becomes Communist the Slugma. Once we make it to the other side, we are now able to grab Stress Ball the Hoppip, a Pokemon I have no attachment to, so I plan on keeping this guy in the box. Upon entering Azalea Town, we are tasked with taking down Team Rocket in the Slowpoke well, where I am able to catch a Slowpoke who I can't use until I evolve it into a Slowking, which is a good place to point out that I use the Universal Randomizer to make impossible evolutions possible again. With this, Slowpoke is now able to evolve using a Water Stone, which is pretty close to impossible to get until I reach Kanto, so that's exciting. Anyways, Proton is here, and he's an absolute joke, which I'm sure won't become a recurring theme with Team Rocket in this game. Now that we got that out of the way, it's time to take on the second gym leader, Bugsy, who I'm somewhat scared of with his Scyther, but we did just evolve Spoon and got rollout on Izzy here, so I'm not too worried about it. We start off the fight with our good friend Communist, who I know is frail, but I'm sure its fire rock typing will keep us alive. Oh! What is it with these critical hits? So I learned the hard way here that Communist is pure fire and isn't rock type until its evolution. So I send in Izzy for plan B, which is hit rollout until we win. Scyther U-turns into Metapod, which allows rollout to build up for when Scyther comes back in, which one-shots him and leaves Kakuna all alone. So we hit rollout again and we get our second badge. I just can't keep a fire type alive in this game. Hopefully this trend doesn't continue though, because there aren't many left for us to kill. You know our team is in a bad spot when we have to bring Stress Ball out of early retirement and get him up to speed, evolving him in the process. Then, on our way out of Azalea Town, we are interrupted by our rival, Goyon Gaming, who somehow doesn't believe that I was able to take out Team Rocket and their absurdly low-level teams. So he challenges me to a battle, which was super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Once in Elix Forest, we attack some stray Farfetch'd and grab ourselves the Headbutt TM, which we then are able to backtrack to get ourselves a star encounter. We head back to Route 46, which didn't have any Johto mons in the grass, but has something special in the trees. We headbutt the tree only to find ourselves a Heracross. We spend an enormous amount of time whittling this guy down, but unfortunately, we run out of Pokeballs and have to run away. Thankfully though, we have a second chance back in Azalea Town, but we also have the chance of getting a Napalm. So we roll the dice and end up with a shot at redemption with Heracross. And we end up catching it. Mr. Beat, the Heracross, will come in clutch for Whitney, and I'm not sure if we'd be able to handle her Miltank without him. Oh, and back in Elix Forest, we find a Pineco in the trees, which immediately blows up in our faces. Not to worry though, as we get a second chance with Pineco on the following route and catch ourselves Grenade the Pineco. We finally get to Goldenrod after those silly encounters, and start planning for the gym fight. I go north of Goldenrod, hoping to run into some Nidorans to pre-poison my Guts Heracross, when something incredibly stupid happened. I was not paying attention. Heracross is over the level cap. Well, that's gonna make Whitney, incredibly harder. But it is what it is, and time keeps on ticking. So we go into the fight without Mr. Beat and a plan. What could possibly go wrong? I send out Spoon, who paralyzes with Thunder Wave and chips down with super effective Rock Smashes to take out the Clefairy. Okay, that was the easy part, and out comes Miltank, sending out Attracts and Stomps while I try to lower its defense with Rock Smash. I get too low, so I send out Stress Ball, thinking I could try to poison him twice since it's holding a Lumberry. And thanks to its synthesis, I'm able to get it off. Now that it's on a timer though, I thought I might as well keep stalling with Stress Ball until I'm out of synthesis. All the while this is happening, Stress Ball doesn't get flinched by Stomp a single time until the very end, causing me to switch out into Kugi, who isn't able to tank 2 Stomps. So I switch again into Izzy, who eats the Stomp like a champ. From here I'm able to hit a single Rock Smash, which allows the poison damage to take it out. I can't believe how much work Stress Ball was able to put into this fight. I completely underestimated the power of synthesis, and will definitely not be roasting my little ball of stress any longer. North of Goldenrod, we are able to pick up a guaranteed Yanma, who we shall name Small Gone, in reference to Little Fly. And in the national park, we enjoy some soothing music as we pick up Sunny D the Sunkern. Following the national park, we pick up 2 more encounters in Knife the Sudowoodo on Route 36 and Jane Doe the Stantler on Route 37, where we run into a close call with Kooky in the double battle. After the battle, Kooky evolves into Noctowl and we end up in Ecruteak City. Here we pick up a Poliwag that I won't be able to use until we can grab a King's Rock to level it up with to evolve into Politoed. We then enter the burned tower to spot some funny looking dogs and run into Goyon yet again, who says that legendary Pokemon are only for trainers like him, and that I should stick to battling Team Rocket grunts, which I find super offensive, even though I ban legendaries from my runs. So I challenge him to a battle yet again, and yet again I have no issues defeating him. Nice try, Goyon. In order to prep for the 4th gym leader, Morty, I grabbed myself a guaranteed Dad the Miltank on Route 39 with the ability Scrappy so it can hit Ghost-type Pokemon, which then lets me pick up a guaranteed Beef the Snubbull on Route 38. I then train up my Mons, which lets Zack evolve into Ariados, and I walk into the gym with high confidence. On the first gym trainer though, I let Beef have some time in the spotlight, which starts off great, but is hit with a curse which I shrug off as a non-issue. But the following turn, I get trapped into the field with Mean Look. Now on a timer, I have to kill the other Ghastlies in one shot in order to get out of here unscathed. Thankfully, I level up mid-fight, giving me just enough health to get through the battle, where I'm rewarded with Beef evolving into Granbull. Now it was time to fight Morty. I send out Scrappy Dad, who's able to one-shot the Ghastly with Body Slam, and leaving the following Haunter on 1 HP. Morty wastes a Hyper Potion while I finish it off, and then he sends out his Gengar, who's actually able to deal damage to me with Sucker Punch, but it doesn't do much before getting taken out, leaving the final Haunter, who commits to the bit and takes itself out with Curse, finishing the battle. Well, that was a bit anticlimactic, but I'll take it. Now that we have the ability to surf, I'm able to go back and get a few things we missed along the way. First, we're able to pick up the King's Rock from the Slowpoke well, and we choose to wait to evolve Poliwhirl until it learns Mudshot at level 32. Then while surfing in Union Cave, we catch ourselves Wiggler the Quagsire. We keep going deeper into Union Cave and reach a grass patch in the ruins of Alph. This is the easiest way to get Natu or Smeargle in the game. We roll in Natu and immediately forget that it has Teleport and it runs away. There goes yet another fun Gen 2 Mon that nobody ever gets to use. We continue on and slide up to Olivine City and grab ourselves GBR the Corsola and fight our way to the top of the lighthouse where Jasmine tasks us to go to Signwood City to pick up medicine for Ampharos. Along the way, we miss out on a Mantine encounter and then borrow a Shuckle from this random guy. I'm able to get the medicine that Ampharos needs, but I take a detour to battle the local gym leader. While fighting the gym trainers, both Spoon and Stress Ball evolve into their final forms, and we begin the fight. I send out Whisk forgetting that Primeape has Rock Slide, so I switch into Wiggler, who brings him into the red, only for Chuck to heal, and then switch out into Poliwrath. The only thing that makes Poliwrath scary is its Focus Punch, so I have to try to break his focus before switching out. I don't do a great job of this, but it ends up not doing much damage on Stress Ball. He's able to take it out after a few turns. Primeape comes back out when Stress Ball wakes up to hit him with Leech Seed. Now on a timer, I switch back to Wiggler, who's able to outdamage the Primeape and win us the badge. From here, the level caps get a bit messy, and because of that, the next gym we need to take on is Price. So we beeline it to Mahogany Town, and in the process, catch Smallhand the Apalm, fail a roaming legendary catch, take out the sickly Gyarados, and storm through Team Rocket's secret hideout with no issues. We needed to be extra careful of the EXP management through this part of the game, which wasn't hard due to how low leveled everything was in the hideout. Now that all of that was out of the way, it was time for Price. I send out the recently evolved Smallhand, terrible Pokemon design by the way, and set up some agilities before switching into Spoon, who takes out the seal with 2 Thunder Shocks. Piloswine comes in, so I switch into Izzy, who whiffs a Rock Smash only to be hit by Blizzard. So I switch into Wiggler, who makes him yawn. I switch again into Dad, as Piloswine starts to doze off. When I realize Body Slam doesn't do much damage, I start to panic and switch into Mr. Beat, who is able to tank a Blizzard and one-shot the Piloswine with Brick Break. I should have just done that from the start. From here, Mr. Beat is able to outdamage the Dugong, winning us the badge. Now back in Olivine City, I realize that I can go to the Savari Zone after we go ahead and give the Ampharos the medicine in the lighthouse, and before we take on Jasmine. So we start heading out there, aiming for the 2% Steelix encounter in the Cliff Cave. We make it easier on ourselves by Repel Minipping, since it's the highest level Pokemon in the cave, and finally manage to run into one. Special defense is paper? Okay, makes sense. Forgot about that. Okay. Yeesh, I really need to stop failing these encounters. This is messed up. Regardless, we continue on picking up Lamp the Chinchou and Kenya the Giraffe Rig. And once we get to the Safari Zone, I'm coaxed into catching a Geodude, but it's not a viable encounter, so I lie to Boba, I don't even know how to say this name, to get in so I can attempt to catch a Misdreavus, but I also fail that. So with that little side quest out of the way, we make our way back to Olivine City to take on Jasmine. I send out our newly evolved Lamp with Volt Absorb and take out the 2 Magnemites with Surf easily. When Steelix comes out, I worry about a stab ground type move, but when I look at its moveset, I realize it doesn't have one. How does Jasmine carry a Steelix without Earthquake? This is crazy. So I just stay in with Lamp and 2-shot it with Surf as it attempts to set up Sandstorm. That was way too easy. Jasmine needs a new team. As I exited the gym though, Professor calls to warn us that Team Rocket has taken over the radio tower in Goldenrod. So I do some prepping by picking up the Eevee that Bill gives you and evolve it into Wall the Umbreon. The best evolution, of course. I go to the underground to put on my Team Rocket disguise, which by the way is looking fantastic. I wish this game let you wear this anywhere. Could you imagine taking on Red in the Team Rocket uniform? Anyways, once we get into the tower, we make our way to the top and knock out Petrol's elite squadron of self-destructing Coughings and Wheezing with our Damp Wiggler, and reach the basement, where our rival Goyon takes us on once again. Here though, Grenade the Fortress gets trapped into the field due to Magnemite's Magnet Pool ability, leading to our 3rd death of the run. Damn you, Goyon! I'll get you back for this. Regardless, we find the director of the radio tower down here, who gives us access to the top floor of the radio tower. Once we get there, we run into some old friends in Proton and Ariana, who don't give us much trouble at all with their lower level Pokemon. I just hate that Proton's ace is a Wheezing, when pretty much 50% of all the grunts use one of these things on their team. Anyways, we make it to the observation deck where the big finale of Team Rocket takes place, against the big, the powerful, Oh, is the battle over already? Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's that for Team Rocket then. GG's? Before moving on though, we take a detour to the game corner where we completely legitimately grind Voltorb Flip until we can afford to purchase every TM we can grab. And we level up our Slowpoke from earlier in the run to 39 so that it would learn the move Slack Off and expose it to the Water Stone that we got completely legitimately at the Pokeathlon Dome with completely legitimate athlete points that we grinded up ourselves. With this Water Stone, we can now say hello to Slowking, who coincidentally also learns the move Nasty Plot. So now, we have access to a Pokemon that can set up and has access to recovery. Yeah, things are looking pretty good now. Anyways, we continue onwards to Route 44, where we can pick up Nerf the Remoraid, which we will mainly be using as an HM slave due to how many water types we already have at this point. And just beyond here in Ice Path, we pick up a guaranteed Manny the Swinub, who once we reach Blackthorn City, I'm able to evolve all the way into a Mammoth Swine. Below Blackthorn though, we pick up Nightwing the Gligar, that we won't be able to evolve unless we gain access to the Battle Frontier. I don't understand why this game locks so many evolutions to the post game. It's so annoying. Anyways, we get our team together for the gym leader and enter the gym. On the first gym trainer, however, Spoon gets hit with a crit brine and dies. Spoon? Are you kidding me? Spoon has been with us since the beginning. And just like that, he's gone. How am I gonna eat cereal now, huh? I don't think Knife is gonna be much help. With our comrade down, I turn to the gym leader Claire with guns blazing, sending out Lamp and immediately one-shotting her Gyarados with Thunderbolt, and two-shotting her first Dragonair with Ice Beam. Her sniper Kingdra comes out, so I switch into Stress Ball, and neutralize the threat of a one-shotting crit with a little move called Worry Seed, changing its ability to Insomnia. I heal up with Synthesis and break through the smoke screens to hit it with a Leech Seed and slow it down with Cotton Spore. Then I switch into Death, who makes his battling debut by setting up a Nasty Plot and clicking Ice Beam to take it out, only to do the same to her second Dragonair. That is for Spoon, Claire. We gotta go do the stupid Dragon Den thing and finally rip the 8th badge from Claire's hands. And with that, there's only a couple of things left for us to do before we reach the final bit of our challenge, the Elite Four. We scour the depths of Mount Mortar to get ourselves a Tyrogue, which we are able to evolve into Beyblade the Hitmontop.
A funny little guy that I was always fond of that I hope can actually be useful, but there's not much hope for that when we got Mr. Beat hanging around. Then we beat up the Kimono girls without any close calls whatsoever, and climb to the top of the HeartGold Tower or something like that, and catch a big bird who will never see the light of day. From here we can catch ourselves a Horsey in the Whirl Islands and evolve it up into a Kingdra of our own from the Dragon Scale we found earlier in Mount Mortar, which I'm considering for the E4 team, but it doesn't end up getting the sniper ability, which is fine. And that just about does it for everything in Johto. We start our trek to the Indigo Plateau, receiving 0 new encounters except for Sisyphus the Donphan, and catch up with our rival Goyon for one last time, making sure he will never forget what he did to my boy Grenade. And finally, after all of that, we've reached it. The Indigo Plateau, where dreams become a reality. That's the slogan, right? I don't know. Anyways, we level everyone up to the level cap of 47, being Karen's highest level Pokemon. And we take one last look at our Johto Elite Squadron and step through the doors. First up is Will. This guy doesn't pose much of a threat to us, but it's important that we level up Death during this fight so that we can teach it Psychic for the following fights. We send out Lamp, who's able to eat the Me First Thunderbolt, only to crit Xatu with her own. In comes Jinx, so I see an opportunity to give Death some experience and switch into Wall, while Jinx whiffs 2 lovely kisses. From here, I outdamage the Jinx with Feint Attack and Quick Attack, and realized the XP wasn't enough to level up Death. Keeping that in mind, I hit the Executor with Confuse Ray while it tries to put me to sleep, but I had a Chesto Berry equipped for that reason alone. Unsure of if Ice Beam would take out the Executor, I hit it with a Feint Attack before switching into Lamp, who takes it out. Next out is Slowbro, which is kinda perfect, because I just kinda kill it with Thunderbolt. And finally is the second Xatu, who I'm forced to switch it into Death to get the XP on him, which gets a little scary with an Omni boost from Ominous Wind, but it works out okay in the end, but not without a close call from Lamp, causing us to get the level up on Death and teach Psychic over Ice Beam. Next up is Koga, who poses even less of a threat to me, but anything can happen. We open with Mr. Beat, who's able to snipe the Ariados with a crit Aerial Ace, and Crobat comes out, so I switch into Lamp, who lands the bat with 2 Thunderbolts. Muck comes out, who starts setting up minimizes while I switch into Manny, who's eventually able to hit an Earthquake, one-shotting the pile of sludge. Venomoth is up next, so Kenya comes in to tank a Psychic, only to send one right back at it, taking it out. Fortress is last out, so I switch into Death while it goes for Toxic Spikes? Wow, Koga's really out here trying to pull a Gita on us. Just in case this guy wants to explode, I set up Nasty Plus so I can just one-shot it and not have to deal with it anymore, and that's Koga defeated. Third up to bat is Bruno. Now, a lot of people like to rag on his team, but I don't got a lot of Pokemon that can outspeed his no-guard Machamp. So, let's see what happens here. I send out Death hoping to just get this Beyblade clone off the screen, but then I realize something. It's going for Dig, so I essentially have free moves to set up on Bruno right in his face. Making sure that I have the most health as possible, I set up 3 Nasty Plots and wipe him out with Surf. Hitmonchan is out next, sending a Thunder Punch to our face, but we live it, avoiding a possibly deathly crit and take it out with Psychic. Onix comes out, who's taken out immediately with the Surf, and finally comes in the Machamp. Here's where it gets scary. I know Machamp has pretty average speed, but I just have a bad feeling about this. So we just hope not to die to whatever comes out, but we're just faster somehow. So down goes Machamp, and in comes Hitmonlee, who tries to confuse us with Swagger, but Death holds on and takes him out, defeating Bruno. The final Elite Four member is Karen, and she's gonna be tough. We really don't have a good answer for Houndoom, but let's see what we can do here. I send out Mr. Beat, who's able to one-shot the Umbreon with a close combat, something Wall could totally handle himself without a doubt. In comes Murkrow, so I switch into a Lamp, who takes decent damage, but is able to take it out with a Thunderbolt. Vileplume takes center stage, so I switch back to Mr. Beat to take the Petal Dances it's locked into, while he takes it out with Aerial Aces. Here she is, the Houndoom. I don't have the best switch here, and I take a second to think. I know a Flamethrower is coming out, so I switch into Death. The Houndoom then goes for a Nasty Plot, which gives Death a chance to damage it with Surf, which procs its Citrus Berry. I calc that I don't live with Dark Pulse, so I switch into Wall, and I'll let O Creations Live take you from there. Oh, we're tanking that! What? Okay. Okay, wait, now I'm kind of wanting to get greedy here. How much does this do? Oh! I shouldn't have gotten greedy. Alright, that was a misplay. We might have to sack Wall. Alright, here goes the quick attack. That's not a 2-hit KO. Hit yourself. Ooh! No way! No! Oh, I didn't think about that! It's not confused anymore, is it? That's it, that has to be it. Oh! That gets rid of the Nasty Plot. We're fine. We can do that again. No, the problem's gone. It's fine. So we go Death? Dude, Karen's switch was god tier. Oh my gosh. Hit yourself. Did we kill the Houndoom on a not boosted Surf? There's a chance we don't. So that means we boost now. Get it out of the way. Oh, it snapped out. That's fine. We'll take it. Oh, dude, if it went for Destiny Bond, we're done. Don't you dare. Oh. Yo, Kai's in chat again. How's it going, dude? How's the gym? We're running it back, and I think we got it this time. Why did I slack off? Because if the Houndoom Nasty Plots, and we don't kill it with Surf, which we probably will, then we had no chance of surviving. Now we have a chance of surviving a Nasty Plot Dark Pulse. It goes for Crunch? We got this. Just don't flinch. Don't do it. That's fine. That's it, right? Come on. We're Nasty Plotted. Let's go, dude! And after that crazy encounter, it was time. The fight to end it all. Lance the champion. This is going to be extremely tough. But we have Lamp, who's super effective into every one of Lance's Pokemon. So let's see how far we can take this. I send out Lamp, who one-shots the Gyarados into oblivion, which immediately baits the AI to send out the level 50 Dragonite with Outrage. Ooh, I was not expecting that. And neither was Lamp, who tries to go for a Thunderbolt only to be outsped in one shot by an incoming Outrage. Even though Lamp hasn't been on the team for long, she put in so much work and has been a fantastic late game sweeper. But that all ends here. She was the answer for most of Lance's team, but now it's a 5v5. I send Wall onto the field, who throws sand at his face over and over as it hurts itself in confusion 3 times in a row. Somehow he snaps out and lands the Outrage, sending Wall into the ground. So I send Manny in to take care of it. The Dragonite misses an Outrage, leaving itself wide open for an Avalanche, taking it out. Charizard is up next, so we switch it to Death. I make the mistake of going for Nasty Plot while tanking a Shadow Claw, but from here, Death holds, dodging a crit from Shadow Claw, taking out the Charizard with Surf. From here, I'm gonna go back to O Creations Live, because this fight is a doozy. Alright, we go Manny then. Alright. Show us Thunder. Show us Thunder. Oh, shoot! I was not looking for that. That is a lot of freaking damage, man! That's 75 accuracy. What?
Alright. Fafo. Dragon Rush missed. That would be crazy if we went for Avalanche there. And it missed. How much does this do? Okay, for a second I thought that was gonna kill. Oh! It heals! I should have gone for Avalanche! Wait, no, we're fine. It just ruins... It just gets rid of its, full restore now. Dude, Husky! You called it! That's crazy! Oh my god. Dude, hey, hit this! We're taking out the 4 stores too! Oh my gosh. Let's go! Imagine there happened too. Let's go. That's for sure. Let's go, I see that move. I see that move. Okay. Here we go. 2 more. We got 1 more Dragonite. I think we just go for the Ice Shard. Come on, let's see this. Let's see it. Come on. We're spreading it too. It's easy. Oh my gosh. Nice. I don't know what's going on. That's a there. Let's go. Yeah, this. It's so much better. Holy crap. We're not going to talk about yesterday. Okay. Let's go. Alright. That only leaves 1 more guy. Should I just Ice Shard again? Alright, Ice Shard. Does this kill? Come on. Let's see it. For the boys. Let's go. No! It's fine. Manny. Oh, man. Oh, dude. Manny, you did what you had to do. Mr. Beat's dead to Aerial Ace, you're right. And it's probably not gonna outspeed. Alright! Alright, can you do it? Because he also has Crunch. Oh, the heal! He has another full restore? Are we gonna lose to the Aerodactyl? We should have just had close combat, Kenya, or Mr. Beat. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh! Dude, we still need 1 more. We got the drop. I think we lost! Guys, I think we lost! Alright, we're playing into Thunder Punch Miss. Please. Please. No! Oh no! Guys, this is my Joker moment. This is my Joker moment. I'm gonna cry. We have no other outs. We're dead. Sadly, we were a single move away from winning the Nuzlocke. We did so well navigating the Dragonites, only to get greedy at the end with a nasty plot on death, causing us to wipe. But this Nuzlocke, and this fight especially, has taught me how important speed is in Pokemon. Pretty much all of my Pokemon had either average or bad speed, and it allowed Lance to just outdamage me here. I think I will return to this challenge another time, but for now, this is going to be the end of the Nuzlocke for me. I really enjoyed being able to use Pokemon that I have never even touched before. And that's why I'm excited to come back to this challenge at some point, because I know I missed out on a few encounters that might have helped me along the way. Comment down below your favorite Pokemon I used. As far as future content goes, I'm trying to stick to a better upload schedule, so expect a video uploaded about every 2 weeks or so, and some shorts interspersed between. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like on it and subscribing. It helps me out a lot. I've been O Creations, and I'll see you guys in the next one.